Oh, and we're live. Damien and I are trying to figure out if this is a part 3 video or if it's just a video in itself. Well, I guess it's a little bit of both. I'm making a short video this time. A lot of my videos have been super long, so I hope you'll enjoy them as you're going to sleep. But don't fall asleep on them. Fall asleep after I'm finished speaking. Or listen a little in pieces. Anyway, let me talk about my topic of discussion. It's GMOs. Now, GMOs, gosh, what does that stand for? Genetically modified organisms. And these are put into fruits and vegetables in order to make them grow faster, in order to make them bigger, and they were introduced to be able to make more of a mass quantity of food for people. However, the studies have shown that they cause cancer in, like, I think lab rats, something like that. I don't want to misquote anything, but there have been studies that show that they could hurt an animal body. And humans have animal bodies. So if it's going to hurt an animal, it's going to hurt a human. Most of the time, that's how it works. There is a huge company that uses these GMOs, and you probably know what that company is. And I guess I could say it because there are so many people that know at this point. Monsanto. There's even a day per year where they have an event all around the world. It takes place with activists in every city. It's called March Against Monsanto. And now they're having it more frequently. There's going to be one in Washington, D.C. coming up. I think it's in October of 2015. You'll have to Google that. But this company, they are really taking over the world food supply, and they are pushing back anyone who tries to interfere with them. They've even sued small farmers because Monsanto's seed has blown through the wind into these farmers' lands. And Monsanto sued the farmers because they said, well, that's our seed. That's not your seed. Now, how they could even get away with the suing because the wind blew over their seed, that's a natural cause. It's not the fault of the farmer. So how Monsanto can sue them for that is preposterous. Okay? I mean, it's a natural disaster, even though wind isn't a disaster in this case. It's a disaster because the seed got over to them because they have GMOs, but other than that, the farms didn't do anything wrong. Now, GMOs have been around for a while, and Europe, I believe, they banned them, and then I think they may have brought it back, but there has to be some sort of a label. I'm not sure of all the politics, so again, I don't want to misquote. I just know that Europe is much more careful about GMOs than the United States. Now, there have been certain states in the United States that want GMOs to be labeled on the food, okay? Because as of now, we don't know if we're eating a food with GMO or if it's not GMO. The only way we know is if there's a label that says non-GMO. And that's going to be more expensive because there has to be a label on it saying non-GMO, which is unfair because if you're going to put something into the food, then it should be part of the ingredients. And so states have been wanting to put it on every food label if there's a GMO. It's only fair that people know what they're eating. However, many of these states have been denied, and it's because Monsanto has a lot of money to not make the votes of people count. They get more voters to vote against labeling these GMO products, and they use their political power. They use propaganda. They've even, I hope he's changed his mind or will change his mind. They even had Bill Nye the Science Guy, which is very popular. He's very popular with kids. You know, he has like a children's show. I think it's on the Discovery Network, not sure. But Bill Nye said GMOs are okay because he visited the headquarters of Monsanto. But they're not okay. It's proven that they cause cancer. So, again, I think it's in like lab rats. You're going to have to look this up. They're just not okay. And now there is a bill that was passed in the Congress that says it's illegal to label products stating that they have GMOs. This is called the Dark Act. If any of you knew about the Dark Ages, okay, information was hidden from people. Well, this is what they want to do to the American public. They want to hide the fact that a product has GMOs, but then they want to say there's no problem with GMOs. Well, if there's no problem with GMOs, then why don't they want to label that there's GMOs? Now, products have to have labels on them. So putting a GMO label or including it with the food label completely makes sense. But Monsanto doesn't want to do that. Now, I understand that some foods, they don't really have nutritional labels. Like if you're buying a tomato, it doesn't have its nutritional label, right? Because it's just tomato. But it still will have a little sticker on there regardless. And on that sticker, it could say if there's GMOs. But Monsanto doesn't want to get that information out to people. They are so scared because people are knowing from the studies that GMOs are not good. But yet Monsanto keeps saying that they're fine and trying to get people to say that they're fine, yet they don't want to label it. And Congress passed this bill. So now we're waiting to see if the Senate's going to pass the bill. And if the bill gets passed by the Senate and President Obama signs off on it, that means there will be no labels that say a product has a GMO in it. And it will be illegal to label what's in the food. This is serious. If you are consuming something for your health, you have every right to know what you're putting in your body. The sad thing is, a lot of people, they don't read labels. They don't want to know. They're too lazy, or they're like afraid to know, some of them. It's true. One person I know, he just doesn't want to know what's in there because he'll be like fearful. It's backwards way of thinking. It's good to have knowledge so that we can be progressive. So I cannot believe that the Congress passed a bill saying that it is illegal for GMOs to be labeled. Please, if you're watching this, make sure that the Senate doesn't pass the same bill, because if it does, it's going to go to the president and then it's going to become a law. So call your senators, email your senators, write letters, whatever is easiest for you, but tell them our country demands to know what we are eating. You can't make it illegal to make it knowledge what we're eating. That's public knowledge. In the other videos, especially in video number 1, I talked about purity of body, right? Our body is a temple. It hosts our soul. It's also our machine. We only have one, okay? Some people think our soul is more important than our body, our temple. That's true for the afterlife and for here too. But we can't function without our body on this earth. And we're put on this earth to make it a better place, right? Is that why you're living your life? Or are you just living your life like this? If you're living your life like this, I may not be touching you. But if you are here because you know you have a special mission, and guess what? Everyone has a special mission. So if you're like this, you're not allowing yourself to know what your mission is. We all have a purpose, or we wouldn't be here. Knowledge is power. Knowledge can make change. We want a nice, peaceful, healthy world. I want you to be healthy. Your health impacts my health. When I see somebody who's very overweight, they're impacting me. Because, I'll tell you why. They might not be a happy person, because a lot of times weight makes people unhappy. And if they are a happy person, they're still impacting me in another way. They're probably going to have more medical issues. That means that insurance, health insurance, that goes up in price. If I know that person, they might get sick. That might make me unhappy, knowing that they're going to die sooner than later, if they're a nice person. Or if they die for their children, now their children need that person, need their dad or their mom, but they're gone. They passed away. That makes it harder for the children. That makes it harder for me, because those children might have to accept government money. See what I mean? Everyone's health is impacting, and just good vibrations. Good health means good vibrations. We're all putting vibrations out in this world. And we can feel other people's vibrations. So please, whether you care or not, do care. Make the call. Make the email. Go through. You should know who your senators are. Each state has 2 senators. If you don't, Google it, find their phone number, call, and leave a message and say, we demand to know if there are GMOs in our food, because we want our body to be pure and healthy. We want it to live a long time. We don't want to get sick and in pain. That's not how we want to live on this earth. And we don't want a corporation like Monsanto that has so much money telling us that GMOs are good for us when there's studies that are saying that it's bad, and they're denying our right to know what's bad in the labeling. I've never heard about this before. This is incredible. It's almost like cigarettes. It's almost like when cigarettes were trying to say we're good for you. But then there were studies saying that they were bad, and now there's like labels. How could the government do this? But they are, in the name of money. So if you do not call your Senate, this bill will pass, it will become law, and we won't know what we're eating. Do you want that? You don't want that. I know you don't. I know you don't. Fight for it. Call. It's easy. It's just so easy. Again, it's called the Dark Act. They want us to not know. They want us to be in the dark. Demand that we have labeling for GMOs. Now, Damie, a reason why I wanted you to be on this video is you didn't even know what GMOs were until I told you. Did you happen to look that up? And what do you think about what I'm saying? Because you're in a different country than me.
Well, actually, of course, I know what is GMO. And yeah, of course, it's very important to know if there's GMOs in food or not, because we want to eat healthy and we want to stay healthy, so it's obviously very important.
You know, God and the higher power, our creator, there are no GMOs in what we eat, right? It wasn't made that way. This is tampering with nature. This is like synthetic. And most things that are man-made that go into our body, it's not what our body wants. So eat the purest that you can. Plant-based is great. Be as raw as possible so you keep the nutrients and the digestive enzymes. But not having those GMOs is very important. We don't want animal genes that have like been synthesized, and I hope I'm not misquoting. I know that they're animal genes, so I don't want to completely say that they're being man-made. I don't want to give any bad science out. I just know for a fact that there have been studies that say that they cause cancer. But the big corporations don't want you to know that. They want you to know, they want you to think that it's good. And if they really thought that it was good, they'd put it on their label. But they don't want to put it on their label. They want to make it illegal to put on their label. Each state has 2 senators. California, that's where I live. I have Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein. Yes, those are my senators. That's all I have to say. I'm going to call them right now. I hope you will too.